To keep it concise, women shouldn't be able to drink at all. Women can't really handle alcohol.
You women are not choosing me. You're choosing this guy and that guy, and you're all gonna pay for it. And he went to UCSB and he pew pew pew. He shot around. He shot around. What I'm saying is, what happens to men when they don't get success with women, it leads them to a dark place.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Two Nice Guys. The nicest. This show is aimed at helping men in the modern dating world. We see so many situations because of all of our content, and we really want this show to be a beacon of helping you guys date. Get a girlfriend, get a wife, whatever it is that you guys care about. We're going to cover so much ground, real life stories, examples, but we wanted it to be entertaining and valuable for the modern man in dating.
Absolutely. And the Two Nice Guys podcast is going to really help men get their confidence back. I really believe that there is content out there that does push men into almost like a victim type of mentality, and we want to make videos that make you guys feel good. We want to talk to guys that want to date women who want to get back out there. We don't want to create an echo chamber for men who don't feel inadequate. We're not going to say, oh, if you're not 6 foot, you're done. If you don't make $1 million a year, just give up. We want to make content that really inspires guys to get back out there regardless of their situation. White, brown, black, Indian, short, tall, millionaire, or broke. We want to give you guys the proper game to get back out there and date on your terms.
100%. And this isn't, like you just said, we want to empower you guys. And it's going to be mainly dating, but we're also going to talk about health and confidence and mindset and money. And we really just want to empower men. Of course, the driving force will be how to date, how to get more matches, how to go on more dates, how to retain her, etc. Because we have a lot of experience in that. And I'm going to let him take over the introduction real quick. But this is going to be a show, guys, that when you listen to it, you're going to get value, entertainment, and you should feel leaving more confident. So without further ado, I would love Chad, the man himself, to introduce himself on his credentials, what he's done in the dating world, and everything in between.
What's up, boys? My name is Chad. I'm 28 years old, and I'm living in Los Angeles, California. I decided to start making dating type of content back in 2019 during peak pandemic because growing up, I wasn't very successful with women, and it really took a toll on my confidence. So instead of me getting mad at women and moving to Thailand and just trying to get away from them, I said, you know what? Exactly. I want to date women. I want to be successful with them. So I went on this massive journey trying to figure out the dating game. I talked to my guy friends about it. I talked to girls about it, read books, listened to podcasts, and I came to my own conclusion. Then I started having success. I was actually dating girls now that I'd slap myself if I found out when I was 16 or 17 what I was doing, right? I'd be
That's so real.
Insane. Like, wait, you're telling me I get to date her when I'm older? It's insane what I've been able to create for myself. So I picked up the phone and started making dating content. And the goal of it was, Chad, imagine you're talking to your 16 or 17-year-old self. What would you tell him? And that's what the content was based around. And it wasn't done for money. Because back then, TikTok wasn't paying anybody. And then when they rolled out paying people, it was like 5 cents per 1,000 views. So I never really had money on my mind, ever. And now it's my full-time job. So defund simping came around, and now it's my full-time job to help career-driven men get back out there on the dating scene and date on their terms, online and in person.
Yeah, he's built quite the platform for himself. Over 500,000 followers on TikTok.
Yep.
Has literally coached men around the world.
Correct.
Which is so cool on dating and on everything in between. And my name is Jay. I run The Real Game, which is a brand new platform that I'm running. I've been dating for quite some time. I've seen a lot of ups, I've seen a lot of downs, but I haven't created content on it just yet. I'm an entrepreneur, so when we get into the business stuff, we'll both be able to speak on that very well as well. But I haven't been creating dating content up until recently, even though I have tons of experience. Chad can definitely vouch to where I can go to any city in the world and have a date that night. I'm saying that because I've done it. Even if they don't speak English, it doesn't matter. Google Translate, okay? Perfect. But that's because we know the game. And I started creating dating content because I haven't always been good at the game. And like Chad just said, if I were to tell my younger self about the women I was going out with at this point, he would lose his mind. And so I really want to educate you guys and empower you guys in the dating world. I also really care about you guys feeling confident no matter what's going on with the feminism and all that stuff that we all know is happening, because it's very easy to get discouraged. And so a big component of the real game is to empower men in the dating world. Have some thick skin, know that shit's gonna happen to you, but don't take it seriously. And the best way to go about that is to learn the game, have more volume, and just be good at dating. Because when you're not good at dating, it really takes a toll. Like your self-esteem, the quality of your life is worse when you're not desired by women. And so I want to teach you guys the real game, things that I've learned over the decade of experience with women and everything that's worked for me.
So I actually would like to touch on that topic because I feel like that's not talked about enough, and this can get a little dark. So again, guys, sorry to get dark, but when you think about school, people who pew-pew at schools, right, a lot of them were not getting attention from women. Now, one in particular that happened when I was in high school, there was a guy in Santa Barbara, right? He legit made a manifesto on you. Now, it's probably deleted, but you can find it online somewhere, where he legit said, you women are not choosing me. You're choosing this guy and that guy, and you're all gonna pay for it. And he went to UCSB and he pew. He shot around, right? If that guy got attention from women, he wouldn't have done it. Now, ladies, I know you may have selective hearing. Am I saying it's your fault? No. What I'm saying is what happens to men when they don't get success with women, it leads them to a dark place where they find content that goes, oh, no, it's not you, bro. It's your height. It's not you, bro. It's your money. It's not you, bro. Girls just like these European features, and so you don't have them. You have to go to a different country where you're the selected male.
Nose jobs.
Yes.
There's not a single school shooter in the world that's getting their dick sucked, okay?
Zero.
Every single school shooter or somebody that's really depressed and angry has no female attention. And we see it online in the incel world, like they're angry people. And so if we can shift your perspectives and just understand that, yes, I would say we're pretty good looking, but both of us have had a terrible game at one point, regardless of looks. And that's super, super important to know, is looks is a piece of the puzzle, but it's not everything by any stretch of the measure. And we want to teach you guys the big piece of the puzzle that you can actually change. You have control over. It's a good thing. You don't want to just be born and know that you're going to suck with women forever because of how you look, because that's not reality. Anybody can get good.
And the whole thing with looks, right? Because I feel like with looks, it's an interesting topic. I tell guys this, and it doesn't make sense, but I'll make it make sense. Looks matter and they don't. What does that mean? Any girl you've ever kissed, made out with, those are two the same thing, made out with or had sex with or had a relationship with, she liked your look. Therefore, looks can matter. But when you say looks matter, usually you're subscribing to an ideology that if you're not Chad or Tyrone, dating will be harder for you. And I disagree with that. I believe girls have types. And for example, girls have looked at me and said, you're too clean. What is that? Like, what are they trying to say? Your skin is glowing. You look like you get haircuts often. You're in good shape, right? Your teeth are white. I don't look dingy, right? Some girls like that look.
They like the grimy look.
They like the grime, and again, that's their type. And I'm not saying it's wrong. So what happens is when guys are trying to be this thing they think women want, it's like they can be right, kinda, but at the same time, I can't looks max to a point where all girls find me attractive.
Nobody will always ever find you attractive. That's the game, and that's okay. And so you just have to be yourself and control what you can control. I think getting good at game and energy and how to talk to women and all the topics we're going to cover on this show is going to be the difference maker.
I agree. And here's the thing, man. I say max out your base stats. As in, can you get to a point where you have a visible jawline? Your face doesn't look like a boiled egg, right? Okay, you did that. Congrats. Can you have some clothes that fit? Okay. How about you find a haircut that fits your face and your, how you look? Cool. After those three things are down packed, you getting into the nitty gritty of, okay, how can I make my eyebrows more arched and how can I make my chin protrude more? Now you're getting into what I would consider a little too hyper feminine, to where there's diminishing returns, where it's nothing is, It's not like when you made your chin protrude more, you got laid more.
You're focusing on the wrong activity, and that's
Yeah.
what we're gonna talk about in this show. Is really just giving you guys the actual stuff that matters. Like what matters more is your energy. I've seen ugly ass dudes, I've seen fat dudes, I've seen balding dudes with badass curls, and I'm like, he's probably funny as fuck. He probably has some money. He probably has some charisma. He probably makes them laugh and feel secure, and he gives them that. It's about how they feel with you. Men are more physical. Men and women are not the same at all. We're physical creatures. If a girl has a great personality, that's cool. I don't care because she's fat. Right? It matters. It matters a lot more to men than it does to women. They care more about energy and protecting in that masculine frame. All of things we're going to talk about on this show.
Yeah, I believe that when a man has a better game, right, as in game is, what is that man's strategy to get what he wants out of life? And when you focus on your chin protruding and your canthal tilt, things like that, I think it will get you maybe this much. You can't see it's little. But if your mentality goes, you know what? Every girl I find attractive, I'm gonna go say something. That is when you start, that's the big return. Because all it takes is one interaction. Let's say you see a girl at a bar and you're terrified to go talk to her because she's just way out your league, in air quotes. Let's say you go talk to her and she's super receptive, she's kind, she gives you her number. Right? Now, let's just say you don't ever meet up with her. You're like, wait a minute. That girl was nice. She wasn't rude. She was receptive. If I can just keep doing that over and over and over again, I'll eventually win. Right?
100%. It's mindset.
So I believe that's why when I say focus on your game, focus on your mindset, that's where the big win is done. Because if you can say to yourself, okay, I want the most attractive girls, therefore I'm going to speak to them as many as I can, that's where it's at. When you focus on, hyperfixate on a look, again, do we think a girl who gets approached by men often is going to approach you? Probably not. What I see happen the most when girls approach me, I usually deem that woman as a 5 or a 4, as in she's average looking, she's not hot, she's not ugly, average, or she's below average. And how I see it is she's perceived me as so attractive, she was willing to put away her ego.
100%. And when we talk about approaching guys and talking to new women, something that's really, really important is having the perception to see green and red flags, to understand that is a woman that's not worth my time, energy, and attention because there's so many guys. They spawn every day. And so in the back half of the first show, we're really going to be speaking on green and red flags to look for online, in person, so you don't waste your time. Because your time is precious, your money's precious, your energy's precious, and we want you guys to focus on women that are actually worth pursuing. So, Chad, what do you think are some red flags guys should look out for?
So I want to preface by saying this. I think for men, I want to see what you think. There's red flags I have for long-term relationships, for not for short.
Okay.
So if a girl is a big drinker, as in I text her on a Wednesday, what you up to? And she sends me a picture of a bottle of wine half gone. I'm like, dude, how tough is your life? Or how miserable
What are you
is
going
it?
through?
Exactly. That you're drinking half a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
So, in that regards, is that a woman that I want to eventually cohabitate with and have kids with, where she looks at her mom and she's drunk on a Wednesday or Thursday night? No. But will I hang out with that girl once or twice a month? Sure. So I'll speak on red flags for a long-term relationship. The first red flag for me, I'm gonna go back to it, is excessive drugs. So a drug is anything that alters the mind or body other than food. So if she is a big weed smoker and a big drinker, or just either or, I can't be with her long term because our lifestyles don't correlate. She wants to wake and bake and drink,
gay.
and she wants to pregame everything.
It's disgusting.
So it's like, again, since our lifestyles aren't aligned, eventually that will start to cause rifts where it's like, she'll say things like this, oh, you're judging me because I don't want to drink? Yeah. So it's like it causes arguments. I can see it, causing, problems down the line. Any thoughts?
Oh, tons of thoughts. To keep it concise, women shouldn't be able to drink at all. Women can't really handle alcohol. You and I can have a couple drinks. We don't really drink, to be honest. But we could have a couple drinks, be totally fine. They have a couple drinks. They're emotional because they're emotional creatures, right? And so it amplifies things to a much larger degree in terms of impact, to where now they become very reckless kind of creatures, where it's like, Is she gonna yell? Like, what's she gonna get mad about? You go to the bathroom for too long? Like, oh, who were you talking to? They start picking fights. They get even more in their head. And now they have the courage to voice their anxiety, which is not what we want to have happen. And so I am also very anti-drinker, smoker, partier. I don't like that lifestyle. And typically, guys, everybody has a different type. I'd rather not date a whore, okay? Now, you guys might like them because they could be cool. We talked about this. They're chill-ass people. But typically, drugs and alcohol equals more bodies. That's typically kind of a rule of thumb. If she's at raves, you can assume the lifestyle, guys. Like, she's on Molly. This is not typically a good woman. This is not typically somebody you want to spend a ton of time and money on and take to dinner, right? It's like the lifestyle has to align with what you want to do. I think another red flag, too, is having a hard time setting plans. And we all have different standards on what we're willing to accept with that. I would say, guys, depending on your roster, right? Because if you have lower abundance right now, you might have to be a little bit more lenient. If you have high abundance, you can be very strict. But if you're chasing someone down to see them, either they have really bad social anxiety, which is also a big turnoff because they're not going to be cool in person, or they're just not serious about it. And that's a massive red flag for me.
I would say a girl that is hard to make plans with. Usually how I take that, boys, is she's not interested. And what happens is women are good at this. They will respond to every text you send.
Well, they love the attention.
Right? Yeah. So and here's how it works in guy world. We only text women we're interested in. So we think, well, if she's texting me back, I wouldn't text her if I wasn't interested. So obviously she is interested in me, but it's just her schedule. No. It is not.
It's not. And they're very different like that, right?
True.
I think something that is really important to understand in dating is they think so differently than us. We're going to do things they would never do and vice versa, like the texting example, right? We would only put that effort into somebody we want to see and we want to pursue. They will just do it for attention. And so we really have to be cautious of that so we're not getting used.
Yeah, and one thing that a lot of guys have a hard time doing is being able to charge her to the game. And if you're unfamiliar with that terminology, basically what it means is let her go, right? Letting her go. And like what Jay said, if you're a guy that maybe gets a couple matches a month, or you maybe approach a girl here and there, when you actually have a girl responding to you, you may give her too much slack. For me, it's very black and white. I've had girls where it's simple as, what are you doing Friday? I'm not sure yet. Hey, this bar at this time. Sound good? Yes. Cool. Done. And since I've had so many positive experiences with women where their availability was so easy to get, now when there's too much friction, I'm like, you know what? The friction is here because you're unsure. And since you're unsure, I'm out.
Exactly. And kind of a fallacy that guys run into is they don't have a lot of options, so they hold on tight, but that makes you repulsive. The guy that has a ton of options and is detached is more attractive to her because now she's pursuing you. And so many guys get that cycle wrong. So even if you're a guy right now that doesn't have a ton of options, I would recommend being a little bit more detached. Make it seem like you have some options because that's what's attractive to women. And when you cling, when you hold on for dear life, when you're like, she's the only, I work with her, so she's how I'm starting to talk to her, you're going to lose the game. You have to be relaxed, you have to be nonchalant, and really go about things in a detached way so that she has interest towards you.
And also, to that point, one thing that I love doing with women is using the reactions on iOS message, right? So when a girl goes, oh, not sure about my availability yet, instead of me going, okay, no worries, comma, anyway, and acting like the conversation is, never, act like nothing ever happened, I'll just hit her with a thumbs up. Or a love. What that tells her is, oh, he's not going to talk to me anymore. The attention that I want from him is going to be cut off. Either I give him my availability or he's like, all right, bye. And so there's been times where I like the message, 5 minutes later, okay, Friday works. Knew it.
Of course, because that's our leverage point, right? We have to understand what they want the most. It's attention. They want attention the most. So if we can deprive them and use it as kind of like a negotiation tactic of making plans, just like he did, it works. Now, in terms of green flags, what's a massive green flag for you?
I would say a woman who is thankful.
Yeah.
And here's
so attractive.
Here's the thing. And excuse me, guys, my voice. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so that's why my voice sounds weird. But anyway, my point is this. I get why a lot of girls aren't grateful. Because imagine ever since you were 18, men were just throwing experiences at you. Trips, vacations, nice dinners, bring all your friends, nightclubs. It's almost like oh, why would I say thank you? It's more so as you should, because that's what I'm used to. So when a girl says, thank you for tonight, thank you for drinks, I appreciate it, women don't understand how, since most men don't get appreciation or validation for anything that they do in life, once when they give it to a man, that man now feels more inspired to give it to her because there's a word, positive reinforcement. Oh, if I give to her, she makes me feel good about it. Whereas a lot of girls, when you give to them, it's, oh, well, as you should.
They've had a lot of validation for a lot of their life, and so most of them are numb to it. Most of them expect everything. And when you finally find a girl that's just sweet and down to earth and says, thank you for opening the door, again, you're going to want to do more of that. It also makes you feel more in charge and more respected. Because I think men as a whole, we do want to do things for women. Like, totally. Like, I 100% want to give experiences and do great things and pay for things for people that deserve it. And so when you finally find somebody that is appreciative of the small things, you want to give them the big things. If you're doing things for a woman and she's not saying thank you, she's not appreciative, she's numb to it, she may not be that into you, or honestly, her character just might suck, right? Characters are different in terms of, is she a good person or is she not a good person? And I think being grateful is a great litmus test for that.
Another red flag that, I can have towards a woman for a long-term relationship is, I would say, being closed-minded. Now, I would say I'm open-minded when the right facts are presented, but one thing I tell girls that when I start to, like them long-term is I say, look, as a man, there's some experiences that I've had that you won't be able to experience and you won't be able to understand, and vice versa. So when they say things like, well, I think a man should pay all the bills. Okay, and what's he get in return for that? Well, why should a man want anything in return? It's like you're being closed-minded.
It's just basic awareness. If they don't have basic awareness around we're different creatures, we operate very differently, and to give us our room to be men, then it's really not going to work long term. Because that's what happens in most relationships is a woman won't have that awareness, and she will try to put the man in the box of what she thinks he should be doing, instantly lose interest because you have to maintain frame. And we're going to talk a lot about frame, I'm sure, on the show. But you have to be the man. You have to maintain the masculine frame. And I think it's very important to hold that. And I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I think that, here's the thing, and I told her vice versa. When you start saying things like, oh, it's because I'm a Libra. Now, do I think that's a bunch of hogwash? Yes. However, I'm like, Chad, she's just being a woman. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, but give her the space to think that it's because she's a Libra.
Exactly. Just awareness. We're different. Yeah. We're completely different creatures. And I think another green flag that I just thought about is when she does things unasked, unprovoked. Like, I was with this girl the other night. I went to the bathroom. I came back. She was cleaning my dishes. I'm like, your mother raised you right, sweetie. Like, she did a great job. When they do, even it's the smallest thing, right? Brings you a coffee. These little tiny actions that aren't provoked, no matter if it's a monetary investment like the cleaning or even just putting the couch back together after you guys sit down, those little things, it's like, that's a good woman. She was trained to help and to facilitate the union. It is a union. It's a partnership. If you're doing everything and she does nothing, very unattractive.
And yeah, man, I've definitely, TMI, had some nights with women, and I wake up in the morning and they are already maybe, making the bed, or let's say I go to the restroom and they see my plates empty, they'll just throw things in the dishwasher. And here's the thing. Women, a lot of girls are terrified to do that because they're scared of being taken advantage of. And what's so funny is them doing that costs them seconds of their life, and it's free. Yes. Where some girls expect for a first date, you call an Uber Black. Flowers. And they want you to go to a nice restaurant where there's appetizer. Maybe he's a cheap guy because he got a glass of wine, not the whole bottle, right? So it's like they may expect you to fork up $300 to $500 first night. And that's, as you should. But hey, why don't you go take the dishes to the sink after you guys ate at the house? Well, I'm not his wife. Well, why is that this man showing you that he has the capacity to be your husband? whether with his time and his money, but you won't take a dish to the dishwasher. The ego is just too big.
It's too big. And those little things that they do, that they can do, are really attractive. That's like, if you see a girl like just randomly doing your dishes, that's a good girl. Okay, that is someone that was raised right. She knows the role, right? We don't do dishes. Okay, she knows the role, and we're gonna reciprocate because of that. I think men enjoy doing things more for women than women enjoy doing for men until they're comfortable. Once they're comfortable and they give you those signs of affection and appreciation, it's a very, very big green flag.
For me, red flag number 3. I'm going to say, this one's a tough one, but when a girl could say, you know what, you're right, or you know what, I see what you mean. A lot of times when you know you have a discussion with somebody, they have a hard time admitting wrong. And one thing I'm looking for in a long-term partner, because obviously if you're going to be with someone for the rest of your life, arguments will come up. And if both parties don't have there's too much ego to say, you know what, I was wrong there, you guys are always going to be in a state of like trying to one-up each other. I think it's important that the person I'm dealing with can say, you know what, I was wrong.
Yeah, you don't want a competition. You don't want to get into a competition, and you also just want them to know that there's an A and a B, right? And so you need a submissive woman, and you can make a woman submissive over time. They don't have to start that way necessarily, but you do want somebody that is going to know that you are right and be okay being wrong, be okay apologizing. Just having that character development can make a massive, massive difference. And we want to get into all the red and green flags, but we're here for about 10 hours. So that was episode 1, guys. So that was a breakdown of the show. Green flags, red flags, what we do, what you can expect from the show. And we'll see you in episode 2.
Peace out, boys.